To the brothers, Yahweh Shamar, Latha, Bashim, Yahshua, to the sisters. Welcome again. One West Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge under Commander Jenny Hanna. And our job is to teach our people our culture, our history, our language, and our belief system according to the Most High's understanding of the Bible. Now, the thing about, we familiar with John the Baptist, right? Most people that go to church or even deal with Islam is familiar with John the Baptist, right? And they claim to say that John the Baptist was righteous and obedient to the Lord. Okay, right. John the Baptist did do the work of the Lord and was obedient to a certain extent, though. But the problem is, though, most people have a misunderstanding that John did not want to surrender his position when Christ came into the scene. That's why John the Baptist was not in the truth, and John the Baptist was not following Christ. A lot of misunderstanding. People say that John was absolutely obedient and followed Christ, though that's not true, because when we read these precepts and get understanding of what John was doing compared to what Christ was doing, we have an understanding that why you understand that John the Baptist did not follow Christ, and John the Baptist was not in the truth, regardless of how much work he did during that time, during a certain time period, though. But the fact is, though, John did not follow Christ, though. So we're gonna prove that, though. So we're gonna prove the rhetorical question that I'm bringing out is: did John the Baptist really follow Jesus Christ, aka Yahweh Shai Mashiach? Did John really follow the Messiah? We're gonna find out, though. Let's go to John chapter 14, verse 16. We'll start at John 14 and 16. As a matter of fact, we'll move up, start at 15. Just the book of John, chapter 14, verse 15. If ye love me, keep my commandments. Right. This is what the Most High said, right? If ye love me, keep my commandments. It's an order. It's a protocol that we must obey the Most High. Also, if a man of God that the Most High put in charge gives you instructions and lawful orders that must be followed, then you must obey them, whether you like it or not. So that's if not, though, then you're actually disobeying the Most High. Verse 16, and I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter. So in this context, though, when John was saying, I will pray the Father, and he shall give you another comforter, it's referring to Christ. Christ is that other comforter, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or which the world calls Jesus Christ. He's that other comforter, that he may abide with you forever. Right. Once Christ gets to the scene, he's going to abide with us forever, which is a very long period of time anyways. That's going to be in the near future anyways, once Christ returned back to earth, though. But in this time, though, when Christ comes to the scene, though, he's gonna abide with us for a certain amount of period of time, and we have to follow his orders and do what he's instructed us to do. Right. Verse 17. Let's see. Even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive. Right. Because the world we live in right now is not receiving the truth, though. We see right now, though, because what we see in the news channel and what we see outside every day, and what we see in our environment, though, it shows you that this world this society we live in though, is not trying to receive the truth though. But at the same time, it's our job as priests and prophets of the Most High under Commander Jenny to push this truth out to our brothers and sisters so they can be redeemed by Christ. Because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you, and he shall be in you. Right. So basically, so if we following the Most High and being obedient and walking in the ways of what Christ expect us to do, Christ will dwell with us, in us. He lives with us, and he shall be in us, though, because we're being Christ-like, though. We're doing everything that Christ will require us to do, right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 3 and 11. Because again, this is referring to that Christ is the man that we follow, not John. John is not the man that we're supposed to be following. John has did his duties and fulfilled his duties and did what he was instructed to do prior to Christ coming into the scene. Once Christ, because as we go along through these precepts, though, it's gonna briefly bring out that once Christ come into the scene, though, we're gonna find out that John really obeyed Christ. That John really the man that he was supposed to do what he was supposed to do when Christ came to the scene. We're about to find out though. Find out for sure. Let's go. We're gonna go to Matthew 3 and 11. Right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 11. 11, right? Check this out. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, right? This is John, right? Say, I indeed baptize you with water into repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than me, than I. So here's the key. Here's the thing, though, right? John is admitting that there's a man that's mightier and that's above him that can solve every issue among our people. John admitted to himself, though. This is John said that, though, because John is said that he baptized with water. Though. That's just like a traditional way that's made by man, though. But Christ is going to say otherwise, though. And again, when we read, and he said, even though he says that I indeed baptize you with water, though, John is also said at another thing, but or only he that cometh after me, right? Because this is prior to Christ coming to the scene. He's speaking about a man that's mightier than him. When he's saying that a man is mightier than him, though, that means this man is better than him. This man is above him, because the Lord put this man above John for a reason. That's what it's basically saying. After me, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I. John is admitting to himself that Christ is mightier than him. So that shows you that John is supposed to surrender his position and follow Christ and do everything, all things and everything according to Christ's understanding, not leading to his own understanding. Right. That's how we know that we're going to find out that John the Baptist really followed Christ or not. That John was John the Baptist actually in the truth? We're going to find out. Whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. Right. He's admitting that that John is admitting that he's not worthy to bear his shoes. Right. He shall baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. So John is saying that a man named Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, is going to be the one that's going to baptize you with the Holy Spirit and with fire. So this type of baptism that John is referring that Christ is going to do is the baptism of the mind, the cleansing of your thought process, the changing of your mind and your ways of thinking and how you're supposed to conduct yourself, the changing of your lifestyle and what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. So that this right here proves that John is admitting that a man that came before, after him, that's mightier than him, is Yahweh Shai Mashiach, Jesus Christ. Though John is admitting that Christ is better than him and above him. And if John would have truly understood that, he would have surrendered and relinquished his status of what he would stop doing what he was doing and let Christ take over. But did John really do that? I don't think so. Let's go to Matthew's 11, verse 11. Just the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 11, right? Verily I say unto you, among them that are born of women, there have not risen a greater than John the Baptist, notwithstanding. So at this time, though, John the Baptist was that the right man that the people had to go to receive knowledge and information and to be led by. This was prior to Christ coming into the scene, right? This time, John the Baptist was doing the work of the Lord. He was righteous at that time. He was doing everything that the Most High required him to do prior to Jesus Christ or Yahweh Shai Amashiach coming into the scene at that time. John was at the position he was supposed to be in. He, notwithstanding, he that is least in the kingdom of heaven is greater than he. Right. So even John is bringing out that the least person in the kingdom of heaven is going to be greater than him. Why is he bringing that out though? Because he understands that if you do anything contrary to what the Most High has brought out, or what Christ had brought out when Christ came to the scene, though, that and you teach the people to do so anyways, and you knowingly know that Christ said it's out of order, you're not supposed to do it. You're supposed to get in line, fall in line, and follow the orders of Christ, and not do your own thing. Then you will be the least. You will be the least in the kingdom, right? He's going to be in a lower state though in the kingdom of heaven, right? Meaning that somebody that's least in the kingdom of him is going to be greater than him, because the fact that he knowingly did it, it's like he willfully wanted to do his own thing. He didn't want to follow what Christ said. He didn't want to relinquish his title and stop doing what he's doing and do his own thing. And that's very disloyal though. That's why we got all these different fake Israelite groups and fake Israelite internet warriors though, because of pride and proudness though. They want to do their own thing. They don't want to fall in line. They don't want to surrender what they got to do and get in proper order, which is the leadership of Commanding General Han and the ISUBK. You know, again, we don't force no brother or sister to get into the school though, but it's recommend you get under the absolute truth, which is the One West UPK, which is the home of the truth. You know, and not lean into your own understanding. Other than that, though, you would be no different than John the Baptist, because we go elaborate more of why did John really follow Christ, and if not, though, we'll show you how disloyal John the Baptist was when Christ came to the scene. Verse 12, right? And from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffereth violence, and the violent take it by force. Verse 13, for all the prophets in the law prophesy until John. Right? Suffered violence. Right. Because again, at this time, John was at that position to lead and do what he needs to do and what he's supposed to do before Christ come into the scene, right? But he did not want to. But when Christ came into the scene, he did not want surrender his position. You know, he did not want to fall back and get in order. Let's go to Matthew 12 and 30. All right. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12, verse 30. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. So Christ is speaking out, right? It's saying that if you are not under the ranks of Christ, right? If you're not right, if he is not with me, Christ said, if he was not with me, meaning if you're not in the orders of Christ, in the ranks of Christ, that means you are against Christ. And he that gathereth not with right, if you are like at a different location and you know it, especially if you know if that Christ is the man to follow, not John, then you are absolutely against Christ, right? So that's like in the past, though, Moses was the man that at that time. The brothers and sisters were to follow and obey Moses, right? Anybody else that wants to do their own thing and not obey and follow Moses back in ancient Egypt, what was against the Most High, because Moses was the man of God during that time to be led by. Same thing with King Solomon, King David, the prophets, Jeremiah, Ezekiel. You know, these are the man of the Most High at that time that had the people under them, and they was in, you know, I'm saying, somebody like Nehemiah. He was the guy that you were supposed to follow and obey at that time, right? So right now, at this time, once Christ came into the scene, now it's that time for John the Baptist to stop with everything that he was doing and do follow the orders of what Christ want things to be done and conducted. You know, whether you around Christ or whether you scattered by Christ, you still supposed to obey Christ. Like today, commanding Juniahana is the official prophet, you know, that the Lord put to lead our people. So if commanding Juniahana, I'm bringing out like today, is the man that's supposed to lead the people, though, all blacks and Latinos and Native American Indians, whether you in different states, whether you in different countries, are supposed to follow the orders of commanding Juniahana, not no one else, not your own Israelite camp, not your own individualite keyboard warrior crap. You know, there's order and there's protocol. It's all over the Bible. So what I'm trying to say is that John did not follow Christ. John newly said earlier that there was a man that's greater than him. Like I said, like I read earlier, though, that was able to lead the people. He knew that, though, but John had too much pride. John was too proud. John did not care. John did not want to surrender his position. John wanted to do his own thing. So my point is, this is what happens. This is happening today, right now. When the ISUBK was established since 1969. Now, during the 90s, in the early 2000s, there was a breakup, though, but it started in the 90s, though. You know, Bishop Nathaniel left the truth because he of pride. Obviously, he was jealous that Commander Jediahata was the leader. Tazadakia, that ran the IGJC, whatever crap that is, though, he left. At one point in time, I could be wrong, though, he was above Commander Jediahata during that time. This is like way before I was in the truth, though. But through time, though, the Most High and the men of God put commanding Jediahata above the highest ranking man, because a lot of men during that time start to lead the truth, though, and got disloyal, want to do their own thing. So again, like people like Tazadakia, Bishop Nathaniel, Tahar from GMS, and a lot of the men from HOI and HOD, a lot of other groups left though because of pride, jealousy. They said that they do their own thing though, but it just doesn't make sense though. So at that time, if they knew that John the Baptist was disloyal to Christ, um, and Christ was the only way though, then my thing is though, why would they do the do the same thing? Obviously though, they just had too many demons, or again, it's the pride and the proudness though of power, of wanting to have power, of striving for power, or striving for the people to specifically be with you though. That's not how that worked though. That's not how that worked though. Me, regardless though, there's always going to be men above me, regardless of the position I am though. I'm just grateful for the rank and the position I'm in, and I need the men above me to instruct me and train me to become a better, more efficient leader. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of brothers don't want that, and that's disloyal though. That's a bad vibe. That's a bad spirit, And the Lord's against that, and the Most High is not going to be with you though. And again, like from the past to even today, everybody that disobeyed and left the truth and did their own thing is no different than what John did. He didn't want to follow Christ. He didn't want to surrender his position. He wanted to do his own thing and teach other brothers and sisters, though, knowingly that Christ is the man to be following. Though. See, that's the thing. Willfully, though, that just shows you how proud of a proud, wicked, bad spirit that John the Baptist had. And the Lord was absolutely against him for that, though. That's what I'm making a point across, though. That's why we try to make brothers and sisters understand how important it is to be under the proper authority of a man of God, which is the UPK under Commander Jenny Hanum. This is the only truth and only school that has official rank. As far as like being in the truth of the Most High, we don't want to actually have rank because our rank is sufficient, right? And what happens is that when you have different break-off groups and different break-off camps, whatever, quote unquote, and well, first and foremost, though, Salakia, like ISUBK is not even a camp, though, it's a school. It's an organization. Though we're an actual government. First and foremost, the ISUBK under Commander Jenny Han is an actual government. We're a school. So all the other ones say camps or whatever though. They are doing exactly what John the Baptist is doing, and what men in the past that was being disloyal towards Moses and the prophets of old, being disloyal and wanting to do their own thing, especially if they knowingly know that the Most High put this brother in position to lead the people, right? And what they're doing is exactly what John doing. They're scattering and confusing the flock though. Now, and my point about this though, you got brothers and sisters that believe that in order to be baptized properly though, you have to be dunked in water, which is not biblical. Being dunked in water, you will still be discussion center. See, whereas when we follow Christ though, to be truly baptized is the refreshing and renewing of your mind. It's the same thing with the ISUBK under Commander Jenny Hanado. In order to be fully baptized and properly anointed, though, you got to get the oil poured over your head. You got to get properly taught and raised up by an official man of God under Commander Jenny Hanum. That's how that works. The same thing what we're doing right now in the present is what Christ was doing in the past, spiritual baptism, the changing and renewing of your thought process, changing your ways of life. It's not about you. It's about you serving the Most High and us building our nation of people, Blacks, Latinos, and American Indians. The same thing what Moses was doing to free our people out of Egypt, right? Where we at? And let's go to Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. Right. Because two different groups, two different bodies, though, that just doesn't make any sense. Though the Most High don't deal with two bodies, two different groups. There's no such thing as two types of baptisms, because the one baptism is carnal, and it doesn't do anything, but still makes you even more disgusting sinner. You're just a wet sinner. The other one is legit though, because changing your ways of your thought process and changing your lifestyle, mentally, physically, and spiritually, though, is what can change you, make you a better person, and serve the Most High in proper understanding. That's what really matters. That's Ephesians chapter 4, verse 4. Right, there is one body. Right, so according to the God of the Bible, though, there's only supposed to be one body. So during the time of Moses, there's only one body. You know, the prophets of old that led the people, though, they had one body. Hello, the downtown Central Library will be now when but before Christ came to the scene, though, there was one body at that time, though, when John was that man to do the work of the Lord, but before Christ came to the scene. But here's the kicker, though. John the Baptist just admitted, like I said before, he admitted and said that there was a man that was mightier than him, greater than him, better than him. Though. Not only at some point, though, when this man come to the scene, that John was supposed to fall back, lean back, surrender his position. But did John do that? No. He did not. He wanted to do his own. He wanted to do his own thing and start and do his own, have his own group, though. Just like today, you got fake Israelite groups trying to do their own thing when that's not in the Bible. You're supposed to be in one body, right? There's only one body in one spirit. Even as ye are called in the hope of your calling, right? Right, because in the ISUBK, though, we all have the same doctrine mindset when it comes to the truth of the Most High. Anything outside the truth of the Most High, it's all, we can have our own opinions, though. But when we are serving, commanding Jenny Hanna in the ISUBK, though, we have one doctrine teaching. We have one truth we follow. You know, I'm gonna add on too, though. You know, right? I'm gonna add on too. You know, right? There's no two types of teachings. There's only one teachings, but we just we teach. We're teaching the same thing, the same exact thing, though. But we just word it differently, though. We just have different styles of teaching, though. You know, Captain Zariak has his style of teaching. Captain Mawakar has his style of teaching. Captain Mashak, you know, has his style of teaching. Captain Ty Ward has his style of teaching, though. But we're all teaching the same exact thing. It's just worded differently. You know, we're not robots, though. But in the spirit of the Most High, though, we're teaching the same precise thing. It's just worded differently, though. That's necessary anything, though. You know, it's just worded and taught differently, though. But it taught differently, though. But the doctrine is precise. It's the same thing. You know, that's what I'm basically saying, right? One Lord, one faith, one baptism. So one baptism, though, meaning that there's only one truth, though, right now. For example, today it's the ISUBK. So a new brother or sister learn the truth, though, should be under command of Jenny Hanna, though, so they can get baptized properly, get the oil poured on it, do they 90 days, you know, they get the oil poured on their head, get anointed, and then receive the Hebrew name. And as they get in the Hebrew name, though, the old person, they old government name or slave name, that person is dead, spiritually dead. The new person is alone. I'm gonna give you an example. My old self, though, of my government name, slave name, is dead. He's dead. He's been dead about 5 years, like over 5 years ago, about 5 years ago. Priest and officer 500 Yaquatazad has been living for about 5 years right now, and priest and officer Yaquatazad will be living forever and ever and ever, as long as I'm following the Most High and stand in the ranks of commanding Jenihana and doing everything that I'm supposed to do properly, which must happen anyways. I will do that. I'm just giving an example though. And again though, like it's why this is so important to understand that John the Baptist did not follow Christ. You know, if Christ is having a Passover, right? And if John is separate doing his own thing, and then John having a Passover, my thing is though, what Passover would you go to? Would you go into the Passover that's under Christ's leadership or under John the Baptist's leadership? Though, obviously, if any brother or sister got common sense and have understanding, they will be following Christ and serve the Most High's Passover under the leadership of Christ during that time, and not John the Baptist, because John the Baptist is completely out of order. John the Baptist is disloyal to Christ. John the Baptist wanted to do his own thing. John the Baptist wants to lean into his own understanding. You see where I'm coming from? That's why we say that we're not affiliated with nothing that's outside of the UBK under command of Jenny Hanna, because we know that there's one body, one spirit, one Lord, one faith, and one baptism, one Passover. The only Passover right now is the Passover that's under command of Jenny Hanna until Christ return. Can't get around that. So again, John the Baptist did not follow Christ. So I'm just making a parallel. I'm just making an example of making that rhetorical question that did John the Baptist follow Jesus Christ? No, he did not. Absolutely. It's so obvious though. But a lot of proud brothers and sisters of this society still believe that John was with Christ and John was in the truth. No, he was not. Because if John was really in the truth though, then he will be following Christ and not doing his own thing. If John was in the truth though, John would have surrendered his position and get under Christ. If John was in the truth though, he would stop doing water baptism and follow Christ, lean into the understanding of Christ, and do baptism in its proper manner, which is the changing of your thought process, not dipping in people into water, because it's not going to do anything. It's just going to make them a wet sinner. So no, John the Baptist did not follow Christ. It doesn't matter how much work he was doing at that time. The fact that I need for all brothers and sisters to understand this though. It doesn't matter how much work of the Lord and how much effort he was doing during that time before Christ coming into the scene. The fact is, John knew that there was a man that was mightier to him and greater to him. And John knew once that man come into the scene, step his foot into the scene, that he was supposed to surrender his position, surrender his title, get in order, fall back, lean back. That rap video or track that Fat Joe had? Lean back. You get what I'm saying? He was supposed to lean back. That's I'm just making an example. He was supposed to do that though, but did he do that? No. He was just too proud. He was full of pride. He thought like he was too good to be under Christ and follow what Christ wanted to do. So he wanted to do his own thing, and the results turned out bad for John. So again, we make it a perfect example of why other groups or you trying to do your own thing is going to fail at some point in time. It's not gonna go through though, because the Lord is not really dealing with you though. And that's why we say it's a difference between knowing the truth and learning the truth though. Yes, that's great. That's outstanding. But more importantly though, you should be living the truth. And when you're living the truth though, you need to be under a man who's absolute living the truth and doing the truth right now. And that is commanded Jenny Han the ISUBK until Christ return again. So again, you know, I said if you're not in the proper if you're not in the proper body though, then you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Then you're not living the truth though. Then you know different than John the Baptist because you try to do your own thing and you're causing confusion among the people. And now you got the people deciding like, should I follow this person, this leader or this person, you know? And that's not good. The Lord's not going to tolerate that. Right. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 2:12. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 12, right? Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the spirit which is of God, right? Because here's this though, when you follow when we follow Christ, right? We are right. This is what Paul's saying. Like when we follow Christ, though, we no longer receive the spirit of the world or this society because we know it's vain, we know it's foolish, we know it's nothing, we know it's carnal, and we know it's wicked and corrupted, right? And we see the spirit of the Most High. Why is Paul saying that but the spirit which is of God, right? Because we don't see now we receive the spirit of God, the Most High, right? But because now you're living the truth though. Not now you in the right leadership and you are under men of the Most High, who's gonna teach you and raise you and guide you properly and anoint you and put you in the right spirit and make you upright again, right? That we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. Verse 13, which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teacheth though. Right. And what this is breaking out though is heavy though. 1 Corinthians 2 and 13 though, because as I'm speaking, like if I'm doing camp speaking or if I'm teaching class or if I'm just giving milk or if I'm just giving a breakdown to brothers and sisters though and educating them though, that's the spirit of the Most High though. It's not my own understanding. That's the spirit of the Most High, because the Most High wants this truth and this knowledge for our brothers and sisters to gain, so we could be able to change our thought process and walk in the ways of the Most High and not into the ways of our own understanding. That's the work of the Most High. When I do the work of the Lord, that's of the Most High, and that's an outstanding thing. But which the Holy Spirit teacheth, comparing spiritual things with spiritual, right? You know, right? Right, because the whole thing is though, like the things we do, being in the truth though, is spiritual. It's not carnal. We're not our mind thought process is not carnal minded. We think spiritual though, because we doing everything in the understanding of how the Lord would want us to do it, not in our vain carnal minds. Verse 14, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Right, because that's exactly what John was doing. See, at one point in time, John was that man. But remember what I said, that before Christ came into the scene, John was a man of God. Before he was doing the work of the Lord, before Christ came to the scene. And again, I said before that John the Baptist said out of his own mouth that there is a man that's greater than him, mightier than him, better than him, above him, that's going to come in the near future. So John the Baptist was supposed to understand and do that once this man stepped foot into the scene that he was supposed to relinquish and surrender his position and not lean into his own understanding and own thing. That man was Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Did John the Baptist do that? No, he did not do that. He still decided to do his own thing and lean into his own understanding, which was the water baptism, which was out of order. When Christ said otherwise, you know, that's why John was in the foolishness of man. He wasn't in the spirit of the Most High then. Now, because again, it falls with him having the prideness and the proudness and him wanting to do his own thing. Especially if he knowingly knew that he said out of his mouth that there was a man that was mightier than him, greater than him. You see that key point though? So that just shows you that at some point we was gonna find out that John really obey and follow Christ, or was he gonna do his own thing? No, he did not. You know, neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. The library closes right in just 30 minutes. So where we at? Let's go to all right, we got that. Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12. For as the body is one and have many members, right? And all the members of that one body be many, are one body, so also is Christ. So this how heavy and strong this precept is, right? Because right, it's saying that as the body is one. I'll make an example. The ISUBK is one body, right? And have many members. So with that saying, with many members, though, okay, the ISUBK was established out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, right? Now having many members, though, meaning that we have many zones. We have Chicago, Philadelphia, Houston, California, Florida, Puerto Rico, Mexico, UK, Jamaica, Trinidad, Tobago, Washington, D.C., Buffalo, you know what I mean? I'm just bringing, that's just an example, you know what I'm saying? We're all in the one thought process when coming to serve the Most High and do the work of the Lord. We're all in that one same doctrine. We all teach the same thing, regardless of what zone or school we at, you know. And then here's another many members though too. The ISUBK have many different departments. We have a Shamar department, which is security department. Then we have the medical department. Then we have the food department. Then we have the prison department. Then we have the street team department. Then we have, like that's the many members it's talking about, because we have many zones and many different departments. That's what that means. That's the same thing that Christ had. That's the same thing that Moses had. That's the same thing that all the prophets of old had, and all the members of that one body being many, but we're all one body, right? Regardless of what department we're in, regardless of what city or zone we're in, we're all one body, one West ISUBK, right? We're all one body stuff. That anybody that's under commanding Jeniana, we're not talking about no other groups or anything. If you are under the leadership of commanding Jeniana, though, regardless of what state or city you're in or country you're in, though, we are all of that one same body. We're not affiliated with no other Israelite group or any other theologian, doctrine, or religious group, though. The Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge is only affiliated with members of different cities, states, and zones and countries who are under commanding Jeniana. That's what that is. That's the many members are. Anybody else say that, we just say we're not with them. Verse 13, for by one spirit are we all baptized into one body, because we all do our 90 days and we all get anointed and we all get raised the same way under the leadership of Commander Jenny, right? Whether we be Jews or Gentiles, right? Because here's another kicker right here. Jews, right? Do you got brothers and sisters that's born into this truth though under Commander Jenny? Like, I'll make an example. Captain 10,000 Arya is the son of General Muhammad. He's actually born into this truth though. So you see what I'm saying? Myself though, I was before I was in the truth though, I was in the world. I was worldly. Late 2021, early 2022, I got into the truth though. I did my 90 days, got anointed, got oil poured on my head, got my Hebrew name, and then start following orders, doing the work of the Lord, passed my officer's test, became an officer, and I got raised again, and graduated Hebrew Academy last year, and look where I'm at right now. See the difference? So the Gentiles will be our brothers and sisters who have the mindset of living like an American, or having the philosophy of another religion that's not of the Lord. And our job is to get those brothers and sisters spiritually baptized to change their thought process and walk in the ways of the Most High and be in the proper leadership under Commander Jenny. So I'm just comparing that of what Christ did and what John did not do. You know, John's not was not in the truth. John did not follow Christ. So if John did not follow Christ, it did not do none of these things, John was not in the truth. You know, I mean, like make it make sense though. How could John the Baptist be in the truth though if he did not follow Christ? If he did not obey Christ though? How can John the Baptist be in the truth if he did not surrender his position when Christ came into the scene, knowingly that John the Baptist said out of his own mouth that there was a man mightier than him, that's better than him, that's above him. But did John do any of that? Did John relinquish his position? Did John surrender his position? Did John stop doing what he's doing? No, I think not. He did not do none of that. John the Baptist continued to do the water baptism and have his own group of brothers and sisters and do his own thing. Disloyal. John the Baptist did not follow Christ. He did not obey Christ. John the Baptist is not the truth. So there, we make it real clear for brothers and sisters that's watching, you know, because a lot of fake Israelite groups and keyboard warriors believe that, or Christianity believe that John the Baptist followed Christ and John the Baptist was in the truth though. No, he did not. I just proved that. Whether we be bond or free, you know what I'm saying? Whether whether we in prison, you know what I'm saying, right? Whether we out in the streets at a low state, or whether we wealthy and got money, you know what I'm saying, regardless of what status our people in though, you know what I'm saying, it's required that we go out and do the work of the Most High under Commander Jenny and raise our brothers and sisters in a proper manner, and lean it and understand what Christ would do, and have been all made to drink into one spirit. Verse 14, for the body is not one member, but many. Like I was saying before, though, you know what I'm saying? The ISUBK, though, we got, we got one body, but the different members would be different zones, different schools, different departments. That's what that's talking about. And it's not talking about no other fake Israelite groups or no keyboard individualite warriors or any other religious groups, though, because we're not affiliated with them. We don't deal with them when we doing our business pertaining to doing the work of the Lord. You know, we're just not with them. And again, it ain't to bring no brother or sister down though, but this is exactly and precisely what Christ is really bringing out, to make us understand that regardless of how much work he did and he was doing at that time before Christ came, John did not do what he was supposed to do. So no, John was not in the truth. He did not follow Christ. He did not surrender his position and do what Christ required him to do. Right. Where we at? Let's go to all right. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. This the book of Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. I put this precept out here for a reason. This is a good one. For if we sin willfully after we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remaineth no more sacrifice for sins. So this is why is this precept out here in the first place? Hebrews chapter 10, verse 26. I'm gonna tell you why though, because like I said before, I proved to you that John the Baptist did not follow Christ. The rhetorical question says that did John the Baptist really follow Christ? That's a rhetorical question because I know that John the Baptist did not follow Christ. I know that John the Baptist was disloyal against the Most High ultimately. I know that John the Baptist was not in the truth. If you want to get technical, he was never in the truth because once you be disloyal and not do what you do, though, it shows according to the Lord's understanding, you were never in the truth. It's like getting into the school under command of Jenny Hanna or getting to the school during a time during 1969 and you leave the truth. Whether it doesn't matter how much work you did. Once you leave the truth, though, you were never in the truth. According to the Lord's understanding. So basically, what I'm saying is that studying willfully, there's no knowledge after receiving knowledge of the truth, and there made no more sacrifices because John. Remember what I said that John willingly knew that there was a man greater, mightier than him, better than him. That at some point that he was going to have to surrender and relinquish his position and let this man take charge. That what this man was Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. John the Baptist knew that. He knew that. So right here shows that John the Baptist willfully said he knew that Christ was the man to take over and to take charge. He knew that. John the Baptist, like I said, John the Baptist said out of his mouth though that there is a man mightier than him, better than him, above him. He knew that though, but John the Baptist did not want to fall back. He did not want to lean, but he did not want to humble himself, and surrender his position. So John the Baptist has willfully sinned, according to the Lord, because of disloyalty and pride and proudness, and leading the people he had under him astray. The people that he would John the Baptist continue to do his own thing and did not want to get under Christ's authority. He when he taught the brother and sister, he led them astray, caused confusion. He made the brothers and sisters he had under them confused and led astray. Whereas in the brothers and sisters that follow Christ were upright, were righteous. But any brother and sister that left Christ and followed John or left Christ, period, though, it shows that you said willfully though, because you received the truth already. Knowingly, if you become disobedient or disloyal though, not only it's the truth though, there will be no more sacrifice for sins. So this is exactly what John did, according to Hebrews 10 and 26. I'm gonna read it again. For if we sin willfully after that we receive the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sins. Right. John knew that it was a man mightier than him. And at some point, though, he was going to have to surrender his position. But John did not do that. John want to start his own body and own camp and own whatever and do his own thing and teach brothers and sisters to do the water baptism, which was out of order.
The Central Library will be closing in 15 minutes. Please begin to wrap up your work and gather.
Let's go last precept.
Thank you.
And we end it. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Here's another key point of why John the Baptist did not follow Christ. And John the Baptist was disloyal to Yahushua and Mashiach. This the book of Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. So what John was doing, though, is that he widened the gate and wanted to do his own thing, and it caused destruction to him and the people that's under him. And many there be which go in threat. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because the people that John was leading, though, when he didn't want to follow Christ, though, failed the people. He failed up. It led them to destruction because the people that's under John don't know no better. If you want to be technical, or if they want to do but want to still do their own thing. Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth into life, and few there be that find it. Right. The ISUBK is the home of the truth. It ain't just the home of the truth. It's the only truth. To receive the breath of life, you got to be under command of Geniana. Like I said before, you can learn the truth and know the truth, though. But to actually follow the truth and live the truth, you got to be under command of Geniana. Because number one, it proves your brotherhood. Number two, it proves your loyalty. Number three, it proves that if you following a man of God right now, when Christ return, it's going to prove determined if you really got to serve Christ. That's going to really determine if you're going to really serve the Most High. Because if John the Baptist did not want to follow Christ, what makes you think John the Baptist was going to follow the Most High? See, that's the point I'm saying. See, most people want that wide gate, though, like fake Israelite groups and individualites and people in other religious groups, though, that claim to say they know the Most High and they serve the Most High. No, you do not. The truth of the Most High is in the ISUBK, and the narrow passage is to follow because it's not easy. Because, like Ecclesiastes chapter 2 verse 1, to be in that narrow gate, though, is gonna tell you when thou comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. To truly going to be in that narrow gate, though, you got to go through these temptations in this battle. It's not easy, because if it was that easy, though, it'd be no different than the Christian church. It'd be no different than following John the Baptist and his people. It'd be no different than following other religious groups, though, because they're not really gonna serve the Most High and follow the Most High. They're not gonna obey Christ and follow Christ, right? And verse 15 adds even more: beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Right. So my point is, though, John the Baptist was another false prophet because he wanted to do his own thing. He did not want to surrender his position when Christ came. He knew that a man was mightier than him was going to come to lead the people, though. John the Baptist should have surrendered his position when Christ came into the scene and get under Christ to help Christ raise up the brothers and sisters. Did he do that? No. Nay. Christ was teaching the proper baptism, which was the changing of your thought process. And John wants to still do the old traditional water baptism, which doesn't do anything but make you a wet sinner. That's it on that for this class. Again, John the Baptist did not follow Christ. John the Baptist wanted to do his own thing. And John the Baptist was not in the truth. With that, Amajim, let's go do the security announcements. ISUPK security announcements, rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister come into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are to learn and share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest of a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the heads. Tithes, which is commandments. Numbers chapter 18, verse 21, Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10, means 10th in Hebrew. Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny and any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the general priest fund, free will offering for priests, not meant or whatever amount you would like to. Upcoming Holy collocations, where we at right now? We are still at the Feast of First Fruits, right? That started Sunday, April 12th, 2026. Count 50 days, and the last day of it will be Sunday, May 31st, 2026. Though we come towards the end of it, though, and there will be Leviticus chapter 23, verse 10 through 12, right? Remind Akim Akwathium to check bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, scarf. With that being said, let's give a courtesy salute to the teacher, Amajim, which means stand, which is myself, Ahmad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahar Ba'ashim Yahshua Barakatah, Yazbatah, Sar, which means turn, Sar, Akwathium or sister stand, Akwat stand, Amajim, which means stand, Akwathium, give her we about to give a courteous salute to the sisters. Amajim, Ahmad Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Al Thaba Shem Yahshua. Yazbatah, class dismissed.